Hello, people! Olá, pessoais! Sou Vince, sou da Hungria e eu fiz um podcast com Beatriz Almeida. So I really hope that my Portuguese was so perfect. And in February in this year, I made that podcast, so I really hope that you will enjoy it. Bea is a Portuguese singer and songwriter, and my favorite parts from this podcast were when I couldn't express myself. So I really hope that you will enjoy that live and leave a comment or like that video, and it could help me a lot. And hello, Belle, again.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm with the headphones, but I'm not listening through here, so I'll take them off.
So, today's guest is Belle from Portugal, and first of all, thank you for coming, and yes, thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. This is my first live ever. Did you know?
And the fact that Belle is the first Portuguese guest in that page, so it's a historical moment. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, and I guess no, I have another question. Do you often get requests for podcast, or is this a rare occasion for you?
Lately, I have been doing some more than I've ever done, but it's still rare, I guess. And I never know if I want to do it or not because I'm not a really confident person,
Hmm.
as I've already told you. Even less in English, but let's see. It's
Yes,
my
that's what I wanted to say. That I guess you don't usually give podcasts in English, so it's strange for me too. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. When did you realize that you had a connection with music or with singing?
I went to a musical school when I was 5. My parents put me there. It wasn't my choice. And I started to learn how to play the cello. And then I stayed there. I fell in love with the cello. And I stayed there until I was 17. And then I went to college. But through all of that time, I've always enjoyed singing. I loved musical theater. I did a lot of lip sync. I still do. And now I can't get out of the musical universe because I love it, I guess.
In music school, you just only learned classical music, or you had some pop music lessons, or I don't know.
On my main school, I only learned classical music, but outside the school, I had singing lessons, and that was free. Like I could sing whatever I
Hmm.
want, and I usually sing pop songs, musical songs, theater.
And when did you start learning on cello? Did you like it for the first time, or you wanted to change that instrument, or that was the only one?
I actually don't remember because I was very little. My
Mhm.
parents put 3 options: piano, violin, and cello. And I got the cello one. And I can say now that cello is my favorite instrument in the whole world. And not because I play it, but I think it's beautiful. It could be smaller, it would be more practical, but it's beautiful.
And would you like to learn on another instrument?
I would love to learn how to play the piano. I actually had a few lessons, a lot of lessons. I should know more than I know. But I think because I like to write songs, piano and guitar are very practical instruments for that, to give me some support to write, you know.
And within classical music, do you have favorite music writers?
I don't know. I sometimes I feel that I don't usually say this. I don't want it to come out wrong, but sometimes I feel that I don't like to listen to classical musical because it really moves me and touches me, you know. And I get like some saudade, and uh, sometimes I think I get sad. I don't know. It really moves me, but yeah, I don't know. I really like it. It's beautiful. I can't tell you some favorite composers. I guess.
And and you learned classical music. And when did you say to yourself that you want to make something more with music?
I remember I started to write songs when I was 13. I used to write in English,
Wow.
not a deal, but I think if I hear them now, I'll be a little cringe. But I started to write, and I really, really loved singing. Like I've said, like pop songs and musical theater themes. So when I was like 15, I started to realize that I really loved the cello, but I didn't want to make a living of that because I didn't even know if I could, because I really would have to study hard, and I didn't know if I had enough motivation to do so. And I thought I would really like to keep singing and maybe enter on the world of musical theater. That's when I chose to go to a theater university in Lisbon. I was from,
Wow.
and now I'm in Lisbon. And then I started to, I kept the cello in my life. I discovered the music on theater plays, like soundtracks and everything. I really like that. But I got off the classical world like that, a bit by bit.
So you mentioned the theater university. So uh, it means that you have or had um, learning acting lessons, or you just had music lessons.
I had acting lessons. Actually, my university had nothing to do with music. I
Oh,
figured, like I already had the musical education, I would be better if I had the theater part, you know. So I went to the theater course, and I it didn't have nothing to do with music.
oh. So did you have experience within acting earlier, or that was the first moment in your life?
I had, but totally amateur. And I had a few trusting issues on myself during the college because of that, because I didn't have any experience. And I hated to talk loud. I couldn't
Oh,
speak loud, you know. And I hated to be, this is gonna sound cliche, but I hated to be the center of attention. Speak when speaking, because when singing, I'm okay with that. But when I'm speaking, I'm like, don't look at me, please. Let me speak low and be.
yes, it's a little bit strange because in Hungary there are a few university with acting, and go to these universities. It's you have to have um, acting skills, or I don't know. So it was strange for me. And when you went to university, did you have any other ideas, or you just wanted to um, choose the artist way?
I think the possibilities were always related to something artistical until then. But when I finished the college, I was like, I wanted to do something in something related to language, and I went to study translation. I'm actually doing my master's. Now I'm trying to finish my thesis. It's not being easy, but I'm getting there. And
Wow.
with that, it was the first time that I actually ever thought about something other than something artistical, because I suck at maths and science and everything other than something artistical or languages.
I don't remember well, but did you finish that theater university or not?
I did. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm with bad connection, I guess. But yes, I did. I finished. I graduated and then I went to my master's.
and that's what you said, the translationing, or what did you say? Yes, the translationing.
Yes, it's a master in translation. Yes.
And what do you translate?
Oh, I started doing translation from. Are you asking the languages or the kind of content that I translate?
About the content.
Okay, I started translating scripts for voiceovers and dubbing, like teen shows. I would get the script in English or Spanish and translate it to Portuguese, and then they would take it to the studio and record a voiceover.
Oh,
I don't know if they do that there a lot. I know that a few countries like Brazil or Spain have that culture a lot. We don't have it here. It's just to like that, to younger stuff like shows and movies for young people.
so you are the voices of a couple of characters.
No, no, no. I
No,
just
no.
I translate the script they are going to read after.
Oh, okay, I understand. So you speak Spanish too,
I
or
don't
or
speak. I can't. I understand, but I don't speak.
wow, that's totally interesting.
But I get really, really nervous and insecure when I have to speak, like I told you about the English. So I don't know. I think it's a practice situation, right? That's why I accept doing this with you. Besides, I'm being very grateful for your invitation, but I think it's a practicing matter.
All right, so you are doing that, and I saw that you were in Portuguese Idol, and it's a strange question, but why did you want to apply?
I've always thought about these contests as a very good plan B, because I know that this kind of exposure can be good to you and your career. And a few years ago, I tried to go to The Voice, but I didn't go through any. I was still like on the first phase. So I kind of gave up because I was like, this is the plan B, and I failed. So I let it pass a few years, and then idols came back because they were not doing it. So I decided to apply. It was an impulsive decision, actually, but I'm really, really, really glad I've made it.
In Hungary, if you apply to a talent show, you can make your career to a next level, but I guess it's not the best decision to apply because I don't know they don't have a level, or I don't know, but as I saw in Portugal, if you apply to a talent show, you could start your musician career. And what do you think about it?
I think Portugal is also a small country, so it's different from Brazil or USA, where you go to a talent show, and even if you don't go through a lot of phases or don't go too far, you can actually take some advantage of it. And I think Portugal is different. That still happens, but less. But I think the experience and the contacts you can take from there can be really useful. I just think that you have to work as hard as you would have if you didn't go there, because I think talent shows and TV content are something that goes by really fast. We can rock and have a lot of fans and everything during the talent show, and a few weeks after, probably nobody will remember you because it's really a fast pace, and people will forget and have new faces to remember and to connect with. So if you don't work to maintain your name and your position in the artistic world, you're probably going to be forgotten. I think that's normal. And it's not wrong or bad, it's just what it is in this world.
And what did you learn during that talent show? What do you think?
I normally say that the most important thing I learned was how to walk in high heels because I didn't know. And I fell a few times. So, but I finished the talent show knowing how to walk on those. But I gained a lot of experience, stage experience, and because it was transmitted directly, direct. I don't know how you say it. Live. Oh
Yes,
my God,
yes.
live. Because it was live, it we really had to stay on the rhythm and like that fast pace where you didn't have time to do anything, just go and perform. We have the whole week to prepare, but at the moment it was it. And I think that is really important, and helps you understand that you have to deal with any circumstances that could happen. And I think that toughens us a bit. and that is important.
And do you feel any differences when you sang on on that TV show, or when you have a concert? So did you feel that you were on the TV, on live, or didn't?
I actually did, because that's an entertainment show, and that the entertainment part is really important. So it was that fast pace that I've told you about, and it was like I felt some pressure. I think I put myself the pressure, but still I felt it. And it was really fast. I had to get there and sing a song, and then get out, and like ask people to vote for me and everything. And that's, I think it's an added pressure to the normal pressure when I'm singing, like just singing, with my band and everything. I think that's chill. Of course, I get nervous all the time. It's normal, but there we have that entertainment part, and all the cameras and everything that we, and the feeling that at that time, at that second, because it was live, everyone was watching, and it would be recorded. So I think it's really different.
And after the show, how was your career uh, going?
After the show, I I actually needed like a few weeks to not think about anything, because I was like really speed up. But then I stay in touch with the the jury, and they were amazing, because they really, um I don't know how to say it, but they pushed
Wanted
us
to
and
help you?
helped us. Yes, like Ana Bacalhau, a singer from Portugal that was a jury, asked us to sing with her on her concerts. And Joana Marques, a Portuguese comedian, also asked us to go to her show and sing. I think that is important. And other than that, I've been preparing my album, my CD release from my band, HERA. I don't know if you know. Um, and we're releasing our CD, so we've been preparing that.
Yes, that's what I thought. I saw lots of Portuguese musicians, and I guess these talent shows could help them. So I guess it was good for you. Um,
And also, let me tell you something, sorry. A lot of people compared me to a Portuguese singer called Cláudia Pascoal. And then I painted my hair pink, and they compared me even more. But even before that, people would say to her that I was really look-alike. And it's funny, if you want to tell. How did you find me? Do you want to tell it? It's
of course. So I just saw one of Claudia's story, and I just saw that Claudia made it with Bea, and they had lots of fun, and that was the point when I started to following Bea. But I guess I
And do
saw.
you think we look alike?
um I guess now it's not, because Claudia has, I guess, pink and yellow hair, so
Yes.
um this kind of hair um had for her when uh not when in 2018, so when she was in Eurovision.
Yeah.
But your face is a little bit. similar, I guess, just a little bit.
I just thought it was fun because you talked about her and a lot of people compare us.
And you talked about Claudia. Will you have any other um, music together or projects or I don't know.
I don't know, but we could talk about it in the future.
I will be really curious and it will be cool. Okay, so um, nowadays you learn at university and you make your own career, you earn your own money, and how should we um, imagine your days in usually?
My daily routine, is that what
Yes,
you want to know?
yes. Or a weekly routine.
It's a mess because as a freelancer, um, I don't have, I actually don't have a proper routine, like scheduled, but I do a lot of shows for babies that usually occupies me the mornings. And then I translate, I do a lot of work on my computer and I pretend that I'm doing my thesis. So, and then I work at theater sometimes and I have my musical projects. So I'm kind of between those things and trying to be fair to everything that I have to do and to my time also.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first you mentioned that you make shows to kids
Yes.
and and for these shows you write the scripts.
No, I work with a theater company. It's called Teatro do Biombo. And we perform in schools for babies and kids. But I'm just an actress. I don't write anything on that.
Wow. Wow.
It's also
Okay.
really cool. It's a really cool experience because it's a tough crowd.
Okay, so within music you can write a whole music or you just write your own part, for example, for singing or for cello, and you had producer friends and you make the musics together, or you can or can you make a whole music on your own?
I can make it on my own. I really like to write. Nowadays I write in Portuguese. I don't think I can write in English anymore. I really like Portuguese lyrics and words, as you do too. And I really like to write songs. But I work a lot with my colleagues and friends. I work a lot with my boyfriend. He writes with me. He has more like the arrangement ideas, like what instruments should we get, or some melodies. And we write for other people, and with other people we have a friend that's Mariana Rebelo, and we're writing for her, with her. And in our band, me, Miguel, and Pedro, we all like give the ideas and we write together. The lyrics are usually mine, but the rest is collective.
Wow. Is your boyfriend a musician too?
Yes, actor and musician. And he also
Wow.
plays the cello.
Yes, it's a cool instrument. I know because my youngest sister plays on cello, so I hear her on every day, so it's cool. And
It's
you
cool
you
that you
man
hear her every day. It means that she's really studying hard every day.
Not in every day. I usually say her practicing more because playing music is awesome. So and on cello is beautiful.
It
So
is.
I usually motivate her.
Good. Good
and
brother.
and you mentioned writing songs for requests. Um, is is it an often thing, or you just got got some rarely, or how should we imagine it?
I think they're more friendly projects by now.
Hmm.
But it's something that I really like to do, and I've written to other singers, but not as quite as I wanted, and I think I can do it in the future because I really like it to write for other people to sing.
And it means that you could manage producer programs. So um, it means that
That I could manage product. Sorry, I didn't understand.
um, like a producer program, it's like Ableton or FL Studio, or I don't know.
I can't. Any of that. Normally, when I'm working with my boyfriend, he takes care of that part because
Ah,
I think it's important and I should learn it, and it's something that I have my mind on, but not for now because I don't understand any of that. I just record on my phone and write on my notes, like on paper, and then they do the rest.
and when you are next to him and you just see what he's doing, um, don't you feel that you learned something, maybe a little, I don't know, options, or I don't know.
I should, but I don't because I'm really distracted all the time and I forget
And
about things. He's like, press the R to start recording. And I'm like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, I don't know where to press it anymore. But that's something I have to work on. I get really tired when I'm doing studio work, like I don't know if I really enjoy that work because it's a very detailed work and you have to be aware all the time to everything. And they're like, do you prefer this or this? And I'm like, to me, they all sound the same. You know,
yes,
I'm a little
totally.
ashamed to say this, but it's true.
And when you are on studio, how much hours do you spend on a studio usually?
I don't know. Sometimes it's a whole day, definitely.
Wow.
But I'm the one that says we need a break now because if it's for them, they keep my boyfriend keeps working hours and hours and hours, and I'm like, please, we need a break. Let's stop. But it's a
And
really the producing work. It's really hard, and I really admire producers because of that.
and when you are on the studio, you just recording, so you have the ideas, or sometimes you just start creating ideas on studio, and after you record these, or how could we imagine that? Because I've never been on a studio, but I hope I will be, but I can't imagine that.
I think it depends on the work you want to do. I've been on a studio these days to record, to start prepping the work to Mariana Rebelo, that's our friend, and we're writing with her. And it was like 2 days to finish the songs, like structure the songs properly and everything. And we would get there with that end, and like we would create on studio on that situation because we had to like finish the songs. And I like that work because I'm there, and if a lyrics is needed, I just uh, say something and drop some ideas. But then we start when I think it's important when we go to studio to have the song closed. So I guess that's it.
And where does the inspiration come from for you?
I don't know. Uh, I don't know how to answer that because sometimes I really like the words in Portuguese, like the sound of words and everything. And sometimes I listen to a word that I find beautiful and want to write something for it with it. Or sometimes I have the idea to a phrase that already comes with a melody and I start from there. Or I have an idea to, I like to write about normal stuff, like trivial stuff, and I take a small thing and start writing from it. I guess I don't have, sometimes it comes from nowhere, so I don't think I have an inspiration.
Wow, I wish I could have inspiration from nowhere.
No, I actually think it's practice also.
And how?
If you practice started writing lyrics or recording any idea that you have for melodies and ideas for songs or stories. And I used to read a lot. I'm not reading these days. I have to start again. But I think that also influences your imagination to pick on small things and create through that. But I definitely think it's practice more
Hmm.
than any other thing.
And for example, within um, lyrics, it doesn't depend on the language, for example. So if I start to practice writing lyrics in English, I in the future I could be write more good lyrics in English.
I think so, but I also think the practice comes more with that work on your mind, that the imagination and everything, and that can work with any language. It will depend on the ability or on how comfortable you are, of course, because I'm not as comfortable in English as I am in Portuguese, so I can write more and about more stuff in Portuguese. But other than that, is like I have a problem. I know that songs normally have a structure that captivate people more because they have a chorus that repeats itself a lot or anything, and I can't yet um, go through that structure. It's not mandatory, but sometimes it would help because if not, it would. I kind of tend to get a little lost, when writing. So
Yes.
that's something I have to practice.
You mentioned you write lyrics and melodies, and um, it's strange, or I don't know, but sometimes do you have ideas, for example, for rhythms or for a bass line, or you just think about melody and lyrics, or I don't know.
I normally just think about the melody that actually comes really natural to me most of the times, the melody, but the rest I can't. I really, um, I have, I work a lot with my boyfriend, as I told you, and he has that talent. Like sometimes he, it looks like he's really listening to something that is not there, you know? Like, oh, do you hear this bass line? And I'm like, no, it's not there. Oh, but it you know. But I'm not like that. I just have the melody, and I think that's something that I could learn from piano or guitar. It would give me the harmony and something with a bigger structure, other than just the melody.
Yes, I totally feel your boyfriend, because sometimes when I listen to music, I just pay attention to the bass line or the rhythm, and I just say to myself that okay, I will make it on a producer program, and it will be so good. So um, I guess that's another way to listening music, but it's so cool when you start to analyze the music. So I totally feel your boyfriend.
Yes,
All right. So we talked a little bit about Claudia, and I mentioned you that I'm a huge Eurovision fan. Do you follow that contest or not?
I do. I would like to follow more. I haven't. I have listened to Claudia's song, and I really liked it. But I haven't. I don't think I've listened to all of the songs of this year yet. But I do, and I'm really proud. And I actually, I think it's one of my dreams to sing in Festival da Canção and then Eurovision, of course. I think I would really, really love it.
That would have been my next question, is that d do you want to apply to Festival da Canção? But you answered it.
Yes, I do.
And do you have any other favorite artists from Portugal within Eurovision?
I don't. I can't answer to that yet. But about this year, so I'll tell you
Um,
later.
not just about this year, earlier this year. For example, Claudia or I don't know, Salvador Sobral.
Of course, is an icon. I actually I love them. I really admire their work. But I have um, an idol, a Portuguese singer. That's Simone de Oliveira, and she is also a Festival da Canção icon, but from a long time ago. And also Paulo de Carvalho and everything. I think those songs from those years were really, really, really beautiful and had really good lyrics, like true poems, I guess. Not saying that nowadays there isn't, but those really move me.
And how do you see that? For example, this year's Festival da Canção have a lots of songs in Portuguese, but it has a couple of songs in English. And how do you see that Portuguese people like more or better Portuguese music, or they prefer English music?
I think Portuguese listeners, normal listeners, I've seen that on Idols, really like to listen people sing in Portuguese because we have that um, country spirit, like listening to our own
Totally.
language. And I think in a way, it would be fun if Eurovision would have like the song that would go to represent our country would be like on our language, you know? But I think in the end, it doesn't really matter in what language you sing because what matters is the music, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think it's a priority, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's universal. Like people like to hear singing on their own language, and I think the message gets there better, probably.
Yes, yes, it's totally different because when I just listen to Portuguese musics, I usually feel that I don't have to understand the lyrics, but just in Portuguese because Portuguese it's totally different for me because it's so unique for me. So if I don't understand the lyrics, I totally feel the song. But I talked with Hungarian musicians which who were in Hungarian national selection, and they talked about reasons why they wrote a song in Hungarian because they wanted to represent their nationality, or sometimes they just said that they wrote songs in English because it's uh, it's an international contest and people could understand the lyrics if they write it in English.
Yes, that
So
makes sense.
I don't know which would be the better decision. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it really doesn't matter. If people write what they feel and what they want to say, I think that's the most important. Whether if it's in English or any other language. Because it gets in a commercial point, I guess. Like how do you want to sell your music and who do you want to reach, and that thing about like making it in English to get to more people, it makes the perfect sense, I guess.
Or just simply um, the two directions make sense because with your native language you can show your nationality, but if you write in English, you just want to show that your message is, I don't know, more important in English. So I guess these two directions make sense.
Are totally valid, yeah. I agree with you.
And do you have any other favorite Portuguese singers or musicians?
I really admire the work of Ana Bacalhau, which was the jury. She really sings the Portuguese word, and it really moves me. I love in general people that sing stories. You know, I like songs with stories. So in Portuguese, I think Ana Bacalhau does that a lot. Miguel Araújo also writes and sings stories. I like Carminho, which is a fado singer and is amazing. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't remember everyone, but I think those are the ones that come to my mind now.
You got a question, which is who is your biggest influence?
Oh, my this question was made by my brother, so I'll say my biggest influence is my brother. Just kidding. He is a big influence. I think my biggest influence of all time is still, through the years, Barbara Streisand. I'm like a big fan.
Um,
Thank you for the question.
if you if you get a request from, I don't know, any other European countries, from a band or from a singer that they wanna make a song with you, would you accept it? Or or I don't know, you just think about the music genre, or I don't know.
I would definitely consider it. I would be very glad. As you know, I like random invitations, and I think they're all some kind of experience and adventure. And I was telling this to a friend of mine earlier. It's like, um, with your invitation, I got thinking that it's really cool how we nowadays can like meet and talk with each other in a way that we would never, like a few years ago. And this random encounters in our lives, I think they're really important. So I will definitely consider it and probably do it.
Okay. I have a challenge for you, and
Okay.
your task is say a sentence in English. I will translate it in Hungarian, and your task is try to say it.
Oh my god. How will I know that you're not saying anything else?
I will try to translate it pointly, or I don't know.
Okay. Um, okay, it's going to be easy. My name is Beatriz.
Az én nevem Beatrice.
Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, so
Please.
word by word. Az
Az
én
én
nevem
nevem.
Beatrice.
Az én nevem Beatriz.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
And
We could have
now
done talk in Hungarian.
um, we should try it in Portuguese.
Okay. You say a word, a phrase to me?
I like playing on guitar.
Eu gosto de tocar guitarra.
Eu gosto de
Yes. Tocar.
tocar de guitarra.
Eu gosto de tocar guitarra. Perfect. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm half Portuguese. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. And in the near future, what kind of projects could we see from you?
You can be aware of my project, my band. It's called HERA, HERA. We have Instagram and Spotify, and YouTube, and everything. And I don't know. I'll keep doing my Instagram covers, and I'll release my band originals. So I think it'll be fun to have you guys with me.
So you do music with your band and with yourself. So it two separated ways, or your band is your first musician place, or I don't know.
My band is my main project. But after Idols, I started doing a little project on Instagram, where I play the cello and sing songs, like covers, not original songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that. Something that's other thing that I took from idols, that's like that I really like to sing and play at the same time, like use the cello as an instrument to keep up with my voice. So I guess that's it.
You got another question. Era on the road to Eurovision 2014.
We're not going to be. It's out 24.
14
24.
in the next year.
Yes, probably. That would be nice. I thought this year was already 24. Sorry.
Oh, I got a question from myself. Did you apply to Festival da Canção earlier, or you haven't applied?
We actually have. We HERA applied 2 times. And you know
Wow.
that you have to write the song to apply to Festival da Canção has to be totally new, like never played before. And we actually wrote 2 songs to the festival, and on the free, there's a free contest where anyone can apply. And we did, and we didn't make it. But we got 2 new songs because of that.
And which songs what you wrote to Festival da Canção?
We wrote a love song that we've already released that I sang with my boyfriend. It's called Vem Dançar, which translated is um, come come dance with me, I guess. And we wrote another one that we didn't finish quite already.
I don't know that if you have any information, but I saw in lots of countries that um, I don't know, for example, just just say a European country.
You want me to say it?
Yes,
I
a
don't know.
European country.
England.
Um, England. Um, so for example, if you don't live in England, but you wanna apply to England's national selection, you can apply from another countries um, which you can't see on Eurovision, for example, I don't know, cancelled or I don't know. And if you have any other information about if you wanna apply to Festival da Canção, you have to be Portuguese, or you can just apply from another countries, or I don't know.
I actually never heard of it. I didn't know
Mhm.
what you say. That's interesting. But I don't have any information about Portugal, sorry.
Mhm. No, it's not a problem. I I I I remember I just a duo, or I don't know which applied to another countries, and it was strange for me. You mentioned a couple of Portuguese artists, and what kind of or who are the non-Portuguese musicians which you listen?
I'm now addicted to a young singer called Leve. She plays the cello also, and she's amazing. She's more jazzy. And I like musical singers like Barbra Streisand and Glee stuff. I love it. And I love uh popular Brazilian music. I really love it. Like Chico Buarque, Elis Regina, Maria Bethânia. I love Brazilian singers.
Oh, I have a question, but it's not within music. But I had a thought. When I started to learn Portuguese, a lots of places, I got Brazilian Portuguese, which is, I guess, totally different from European Portuguese. And what um, what Portuguese people think about Brazilian Portuguese?
I think it's a matter of accents. It's like English from England and English from America. Um I think Portuguese people find it funny or pretty to speak in uh Brazilian Portuguese as reaches more people in the worldwide. And it's a more singing language. Like when you speak, it looks like you're singing. And I think it's easier to understand for foreign people because it's more open. And of course, we have some different words. And I think it's harder for them to understand us because Portuguese is really closed and we speak very fast. But I think we mainly find each other's accents funny.
Mhm. I guess Brazilian Portuguese is worse than European. Totally.
Really?
Yes, I prefer European Portuguese. I guess when you pronounce the words or I don't know, it's more beautiful than I don't like when someone is I don't know saying j j
I
I
understand.
don't know. So I totally prefer European Portuguese. All right. I guess I have a final question.
Okay.
What what could you suggest to beginner musicians who just, I don't know, in this year or a couple of years ago started learning music and they want to make it uh, as a main work? What could you suggest for them?
I think I would motivate them to keep on going, even though sometimes it's hard. Whether it's learning or trying to be in this area and trying to make a career. But music, it's a beautiful language. It's an universal language. And I think that we should keep on doing that because it's so important for the world. And if you feel like you want to and you have the call to it, just do it and work really hard as you would work on anything else. Sometimes it's harder because you have to try to make it for yourself a lot of times, and it's a hard world. But I would suggest that you keep on going and believing in everything and working.
Totally agree with you. So she was Belle. She was my first Portuguese guest in that page. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. I loved it. I was nervous, but I think it was nice.
I was nervous too because of my English skills.
Your English is
Uh,
amazing, but your Portuguese is better, actually.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you.
So thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who watched that live. And I wish lots of luck and happy moments in your musician career. And I
Thank
really,
you.
really hope I will see you and your band in Eurovision maybe next year or I don't know which year, but I really
And then
hope.
you'll interview us.
And I really hope that we will make, I don't know when, but I really hope we will make another interview someone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for everyone, and have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.